Okay, so when you picture Rajasthan in your mind, what do you see? I'm guessing desert, maybe some camels, intense heat.
Right? The classic image.
But then you see a picture of Udaipur.
And it just shatters that whole stereotype.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's all water. White marble palaces that look like they're literally floating on Lake Pichola.
With the Aravalli Hills in the background. Yeah, it's stunning. They call it the Venice of the East.
Or the White City. And honestly, for once, the travel brochures might even be underselling it.
It is evocative, for sure. But there's a bit of a trap there.
A trap? How so?
Well, if you only look at the marble and the lakes, you're kind of getting the Disney version of the city. You're missing what really makes it tick.
And that is exactly why we're here. Welcome to the deep dive. We have just a massive stack of sources on Udaipur in front of us.
We really do. We've got guides from local experts, a really fascinating research paper on the Mewar School of Art.
A few food blogs that I have to say made writing this very difficult on an empty stomach.
I can imagine. And some deep architectural records, too. The mission today is to get past that postcard image.
Right. Udaipur is sold as this, romantic wedding spot, a beautiful backdrop.
But the sources we have, they paint a picture of a civilization that had to figure out how to survive in a really harsh environment. And they created incredible beauty, not just despite it, but maybe because of it.
Okay, I like that. So we're going to dig into the politics behind the architecture, the chemistry of the food, the real meaning of the festivals.
Let's start with that geography, though. It's an oasis, but it wasn't an accident, was it?
Not at all. It was completely strategic. Maharana Uday Singh II founded the city.
And the legend says a holy man, a sadhu, told him to build it there for protection.
But the practical side of it is that the Garo Valley was just a natural fortress. And those lakes, they weren't just for decoration.
No, they were a lifeline in a state that's mostly arid. Water defines everything there.
So when people visit, the first stop is always the city palace. It's the huge one.
Of course.
But our sources suggest maybe a different starting point if you really want to get the power dynamics. They point to a place called Bagor Ki Haveli.
Ah, yes. This is such a fascinating building. It's right on the waterfront at Gangor Ghat.
And the important part isn't just what it is, but who built it. It wasn't the king.
No, it was a man named Amar Chand Badwa,
who was the prime minister of Mewar back in the 18th century. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a prime minister, even a powerful one, is still technically a public servant. He's not royalty.
Definitely not the king. But, you just look at the scale of this place, and you realize Badwa wasn't exactly interested in staying in his lane.
Right, because the sources say it has 138 rooms.
138.
That is just a staggering amount of real estate for someone who is, an employee of the state.
It is.
Okay.
And it tells you a lot about the decentralization of power in Mewar at that time.
Yeah.
The Haveli, it's not just a house. It's a political statement.
He built it on what is arguably one of the best plots of land in the entire city.
He was signaling his influence, showing that it rivaled the thrones.
And the architecture itself, it backs that up. We're not talking about some functional government office.
Not at all. The descriptions of the Tulsi Chowk, the princess's quarters, it sounds like it was ripped straight out of the royal palace.
The mirror work, the glass inlays, the balconies.
Exactly. It completely blurs the line between a noble's house and a royal court. You even have the Kwan Chowk, the well court where all the domestic staff worked. It was a city within a city.
But here's the part that's kind of tragic that the history books point out. This masterpiece, it was basically just left to rot.
For almost 40 years after India's independence, it was just used as government housing, and the people living there just didn't have the means to maintain it. It was decaying.
It's crazy to think about. A 138-room mansion just falling apart.
Until 1986. That's when the West Zone Cultural Center took it over. And this is the key takeaway from the architectural sources. They didn't just slap some modern cement on it.
They did a proper restoration.
The faithful one. They used traditional materials, like Lakori bricks and lime mortar. They even talked to members of the royal family to understand what the original interiors would have looked like.
So now it's a living museum. And speaking of living, this is where most tourists see the Darahar dance show.
Right, in the Neem Chowk courtyard. Every night at 7.
Ah.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Cultural dance show.
Oh, yeah. My mind immediately goes to tourist trap.
Totally. Something manufactured for Instagram.
Exactly.
But the sources all insist this one is different. It's about preserving folklore that was genuinely, at risk of being forgotten. And the dances themselves are they're intense.
The descriptions are wild. Let's start with the chari dance.
Okay, this is the one where the dancers are balancing brass pots on their heads.
But the kicker is, the pots are on fire.
There is fire burning in them, yes.
Which is visually spectacular, I'm sure. But then there's the terhatal. This one just sounds physically impossible.
So the dancers have 13 little cymbals manjiras tied to different parts of their bodies.
And they have to strike them in perfect rhythm while moving. And at one point, one source says they're doing this while holding a knife in their mouth.
It's an incredible display of dexterity, yeah.
Yeah.
It's meant to honor a local deity, Baba Ramdev.
But the showstopper, and I need you to explain this because it sounds insane, is the pavai dance.
Ah, the pot balancing.
It's not just balancing. The sources say she balances up to 13 earthen pots on her head
Stacked hot.
while dancing, and this is the part I can't get over, while standing on broken glass.
Or sometimes on the edge of a sword.
Okay, I have to stop you. Broken glass. This has to be a circus trick. Is this actually traditional folklore, or did they invent this in the 90s for tourists?
It sounds like a gimmick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But no, the sources insist it has deep rural roots. It's not just about the shock value of pain.
Joe, that's the point.
The bavai dance was originally a way to demonstrate the incredible balance required of women who had to carry water pots stack after stack for miles in the desert.
So the glass and the swords are just an exaggeration of a real daily survival skill.
Precisely. It turns a domestic chore into this feat of almost godlike focus. It's saying, look at the burden we carry and look at the grace with which we carry.
Ow. That changes the context completely. It's not just look at me, it's a tribute to resilience.
Which really is a theme for the whole region. Resilience and beauty.
That feels like a perfect transition to the visual arts.
The Muir School of Miniature Paintings.
Yes, and I want to drill down on this because the sources make a really big deal about the Muir style versus the Mughal style. To an untrained eye, they both look like very detailed, small paintings. What's the real difference?
It really comes down to realism versus expressionism. The Mughals, with their Persian influence, were obsessed with naturalism.
Like scientific accuracy.
Exactly. If they painted a horse, they wanted you to see every muscle. They used soft, muted, sophisticated colors.
Very refined, very courtly.
Right. The Muir artists saw that and just went the complete opposite direction. They didn't want to show you what a scene looked like. They wanted to show you what it felt like.
And that's where the colors come in. The research paper mentions we're not seeing natural greens and browns.
No. You're seeing saffron, ochre, crimson, and they're applied flat in these bold blocks. They're not trying to create 3D depth with shading.
They're using pure, intense color to trigger an emotion.
Precisely. And the figures themselves.
The fish-like eyes. That's the phrase the paper used.
Yeah, it's a very stylized look. The eyes are elongated, stretching almost to the hairline. It's not anatomically correct, and it was never meant to be. It gives the figures this intense, almost hypnotic look. It was a rejection of Mughal realism.
And they weren't just painting portraits of kings, were they?
No, not at all. It was deeply religious and literary. They were illustrating scenes from the Ramayana, the Bhagavata Purana. There was a famous artist named Saifeddin, active around 1628.
And he did that series, the Ragamala.
The Garland of Melodies.
Which is such a cool concept.
Isn't it? They were trying to capture the mood of a musical raga in a painting. So if a raga is meant to feel like rain and longing, the painting would use colors and composition to make you feel that same longing.